What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Powell going deep, and it's caught in the end zone for a touchdown by Xavier Diaz. A great throw, Diaz wide open.
.32-yarder here, well within his range.
Ball snap, spotted, kick is up, and it is down the middle.
Good by Plenty.
It looks like it's going to be short. Stretch that, baby. There we go. Give it a good pull. And Vineland's defense. Oh, no.
What? That was a little suspect there.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guzman's Gridiron, the official Vineland High School football coaches show podcast program here on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group. Kyle Bennett here with you and joining me each and every week, the namesake of the show, head coach of Vineland High School football, Coach Jose Guzman, back in the saddle once again. We are here to break down the Highland game that most of you probably have no clue what happened, unfortunately. And it is unfortunate, even though in a loss, it was a very entertaining game, very fun game. A lot of things happened, throughout the course of the game. Yeah. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys are following Vineland football on social media to keep up to date with everything going on throughout this season and beyond. It's all linked in the description of the podcast. Follow Underground Sports Philadelphia on social media as well, so you can stay in touch with our homegrown players of the week throughout the season. And, of course, subscribe to Guzman's Gridiron wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast in audio form. You can also listen to Guzman's Gridiron on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed, but we have the designated feed for just Guzman's Gridiron as well that pops out each and every game day eve. And if you want to watch the show and see our two dashing, handsome faces, you can watch it every game day eve on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Subscribe to the channel. That way you know when the videos are premiering, because it premieres like live TV. You can watch it like it's live TV, and then it's available to view after the premiere concludes, and it's available on our YouTube channel exclusively, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Coach, another week in the books. Highland, 20-17 final score. Lots of positives to take away, I would say, from this game. And I think the first thing to start with was, even in a depleted backfield, obviously CJ did not play this week, but Omar Davis stepped up in a big way and was running the rock with, aggression, with power, kept his feet moving, and it looked a lot like last year Omar when he was in that backfield and, right, consistently getting touches there. What did you guys take away from the way that he was able to run the ball, as well as, Benny Rojas Torres with the touches that he got? I thought he ran the ball extremely well too for you guys.
Yeah, both kids, Benny and Omar, great kids, program kids that they come with their hard hat on to work every day, and it showed, that game, that we had this past week against Haddonfield. So, it's something where, again, a couple plays here, a couple plays there we missed, and it's a shame because these kids, I see them working every day, man. They're great kids, and we just got to keep on pushing, man. Got to keep on pushing. Next man up mentality.
And not that we want to, make any excuses whatsoever, but I more so can talk about this because I'm kind of a neutral party between you and officials and everything.
Right.
You knew some of the officiating in this game was bad when I had one of the police officers who was acting security on our sideline because
Right.
I was on the sideline this week, which I'll get into just my thoughts of taking in a game from the sideline for the first time in a while, comes up to me in particular and says, "What did you guys do to these refs?" Quote, verbatim. He said, "What did you guys do to these refs?" He was like, "That was not pass interference. That wasn't, a unnecessary roughness penalty." He's like, "They're kids. Like, it's going to happen." I was like, "Hey, man, it's always something with us and the refs. I'll tell you that much." But when you have an outside, nobody involved either program really coming up to me and saying that, I was like, damn, there really is something that goes on with these officials a lot of the time with us.
It's a shame. But, I ended it all that night and telling my kids that we can't keep pointing the finger, man.
Mm-hmm.
We can't keep pointing the finger. We just can't. We can't keep saying, "Oh, but look, coach, the refs keep calling this bad call." Well, guess what? We had our opportunities, man. We did. We had them, and I told the kids, we had them where we wanted them. We at the end of the day, if you don't execute when you need to, things fall apart, man, and you can't rely on the refs to help you at the end to win the game. You just can't. So, anyone that knows anything about football, it is what it is, man.
And that's any sport with refs. Like, if you're relying on them to be on your side in any given game, no matter if it's regular season, postseason, preseason, you're already behind the eight ball.
You're already behind it, Kyle. So, the message was, let's just fix what we have to fix. All right, let's worry about ourselves and stop pointing the finger, because at the end of the day, I'm taking this loss myself on the chin. I've got to do a better job of, making sure that we're prepared, for the game that week. And, you guys just understand that we got to stop pointing the finger, man. You got to point the thumb because it looks back at you,
And, like I mentioned, I took in the game from the sideline this week as we were not broadcasting the game. And first time in a long time I was on the sidelines. And for anyone that, knows remotely about football or anything about broadcasting, like, it's a lot different perspective. I'm not also worrying about doing play-by-play, so, like, I can take in a lot more of, like, what's going on. I can see kind of how you guys are working on the sideline, too, as coaches. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, during this game, it was after the field goal that put you guys up 17-13.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were kind of moving the ball really well, running it down the field, and it felt like, genuinely, I'm not even exaggerating here for everyone at home, like, it felt like you guys were averaging around like 6 yards a carry every single run. It was 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 every single first down play. You guys were inching towards the red zone. I want to say you were at about the 35-yard line, and then the script kind of flipped for you guys in terms of play calling, and you went to the passing game a lot, and then that resulted in a turnover on downs. I wanted to pick your brain on that and just kind of take me through the decision-making process there to go away from the run game where you see it's working really well, and as you're getting closer to the red zone, flipping to the passing game. Was that something during the game that you guys recognized they were kind of giving you different looks because they were realizing, hey, they're running the football, let's switch to the passing game? What kind of went into that decision-making process? And I think a lot of people watching at home like to Monday morning quarterback a lot of things too. So that's why I wanted to, go into kind of the film study there, because it's not always, as black and white, on typical film. but what went into that? Probably what during the game, because you have to think so on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm watching that with you guys as I'm on the sideline, just seeing all the decision making that you guys go through. What went into that decision as you're approaching? I think it was around the 35-yard line was when you guys started going to the passing game, and it just ended up not working out. But what was that, process for you guys on offense?
So ultimately, my offensive coordinators and Ray Fitton and Ryan Shelton, and in conjunction with myself, if you are watching the game, first of all, they had a great game plan made up. All right. Secondly, there's game plans within game plans. If you look at Coach Fitton's script, it's game plan within game plan scenarios. That scenario happened to show its face at that moment, as well as they had. If you noticed, they were too high. They saw that we were running the ball all over them, so they went 3 high. Okay. So again, an extra man in the box now. They're heavily playing the run. They stopped us a few times before we started to throw the ball. So again, it's nothing that we just said, oh heck with it, let's just try throwing it. That's not how it works. Again, we adjusted to the defensive front they gave us, and the chips didn't fall our way. In that instance per se. But there was plays being made all over that field offensively, and I'm very proud of our kids. I'm very proud of our coaches, man.
Because that moment did feel like not a huge pendulum swing in Highland's favor, but it did feel like that gave their defense a little bit more belief in like, hey, we can actually like stop them. Was when you guys flipped that, and it was like, hey, our adjustment worked to what they were adjusting to us, and it was the adjustments within and that's what we talk about, the coaching chess match there.
Yes.
That was on full display right there.
Absolutely. Coach Sean does a great job with his kids over there, and the adjustments he made, he countered our attack on the ground. Again, if you watch that film and you go back, and you'll see that turning point that you're talking about, where we had to go ahead with the next designated plan within the game plan, and we just didn't execute, man. That's it. It wasn't that the play calling is bad or I hear so much, man. It's unbelievable to me. There's so many people that think they know football. They know nothing. You talk to them and they know.
It's easy to sit back from the sidelines and sit from home and like think you're playing Madden when like in real life like there's so much adjustment that has to go into everything. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, that coaching staff has to adjust too, and I got to give flowers to my guy Ryan Shelton.
Yeah,
watching him operate from the sideline is such a treat.
Yeah,
because in the red zone, when you guys had them pinned back deep.
Yes.
Ryan Shelton is on the sideline, losing his voice every single play, but he is literally calling out what the opposing team is going to run 5 seconds before they snap the football.
Yeah.
It is like watching Picasso paint.
Yes.
It is truly special, and I know we talk about Ryan Shelton a ton on the show and just him being just a football junkie, but like watching that on full display, because I think this was the first time I've seen Ryan coach from the sidelines.
Right.
And watching that was like truly a modern marvel of just how studious he is preparing and knowing the opponent, being able, like, you could see it on their quarterback's face. He heard Ryan yelling out whatever play they were going to run, and his face, there was a couple moments where he just went and had to check out of whatever play it was, or try to at least. And it was just so damn impressive watching Ryan like work and how quickly his brain just processes another team while also having everything stored for what you guys are running, both offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Yeah, it can be a whole show in itself with Ryan, me, and Coach Clifton Smith, because we're literally, when we watch film, we watch film. You understand? So they gave us an alignment. Certain personnel come in. We know what the play is. We've seen it a million times already on Huddle. So we're Smith. They're gonna run. They're gonna run trap inside. Yeah. Swift. They're running trap. Yeah. Oh, they're running sweep to the outside. Swift. They got the personnel in there. They're gonna, and then you're hearing Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before taking the heads up, it's
jumping
power,
up and
it's
down,
power,
like
it's counter,
doing a whole
it's-
Zumba workout.
Yeah. So we, that's one thing with our coaching staff. They do their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're on huddle. We're constantly watching film, hours of film on an opponent, so that we can pick up on little clues. You know, what personnel are they putting in? You know, any key. Does the quarterback, lick his fingers before he throws the ball? Does he go ahead and kind of like have a nuance, wipe his hands clean when he's about to go ahead and just run the ball? There's so many little things that you
What are
can
they
pick
doing
up
when
on.
they're lined up under center versus
Yeah.
shotgun? Like,
You can tell. You can just tell. And if you're of a football mind, you have a pretty good idea of what or grasp of what that team's going to do. Especially if you put in the work, you put in that time. And Ryan, he puts in that time. Coach Fenton puts in that time. All my coaches put in the time to go ahead and do their due diligence, make sure that they have film study. And then when we go to the game, you're seeing things like this where we're calling out the plays. We already know what they're running. So kudos to my guys, man.
You know what? As we were sitting here talking about this, obviously, friend of Vineland High School football, John Gruden, does his film studies and stuff. We should try to implement a Ryan Shelton film study show because that you want to talk about a show, you all would be so entertained with just watching his brain work.
Yeah, it's like I said, that kid, loved him when he played for us, love him to death now. He's part of the coach's staff. But yeah, you get you as crazy and as funny as it seems, Kyle, you'll hear things, in that background, that white noise. It just makes me laugh because it's like a lot of these people have no idea. They don't even know what front this defense is giving us. They have no idea what routes.
I'll do you one better.
They have no idea, none. But yet they want to chirp, and it's like
some of these people
place.
probably don't even know your coaches' names.
Nah.
I'll do you one better. Let alone the football nuance. They probably don't even know some of the coaching staff's names.
Nah. And that, with me, I can care less. I'm
Right.
going to be very honest. I'm very blunt. I'm the quiet scene in the background. I don't like to be in the forefront. I really don't. I want my guys to get all the praise. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them guys that pounds their chest. I want my kids and my guys to get the praise. Half these refs don't even know I'm the head coach.
Right.
I love it. I just hide in the background. And all of a sudden, they start talking to one of my coaches. So you're the head coach? And then my coach, I'll like hide behind one of the players, and then my coach is like, "No, he was just there." Then I'll come up from behind. I'll be like, I'll be behind the refs. I'll be like, "Looking for the head coach?" I'm like, "Yeah, coach. What?" Jose Guzman. How are you? They're like, "Wait, we just saw you over here." I was like, "That's all right, man." I want my kids to get the praise.
Right.
I want my staff to get the praise. Me, I can care less, man.
And one thing I love taking in, because obviously, like I've been mentioning, first time I've been on the sideline in quite some time, Coach Rodney Mellon's the man.
He's a
You
great
know,
dude.
I've known
He's
him
a
and
great
known
dude.
of him for a while, and seeing him work as a coach, and not even just the X's and O's, but just like the human motivator that he is.
Yes.
Phenomenal to watch him, kind of just like a play doesn't go, play, hey, you're going to get the next one.
Yeah.
You got the next. And to see someone who is, on the younger side of things,
Yeah.
very freshly removed from his collegiate semi-pro career and everything, to see the attention to detail he has on the emotional side is very, very impressive.
Love that dude. Rodney's he's a great kid. He played for us, of course. He played at the next level, at a high level. Played semi-pro ball as well. He's just a football guy, man. And the kids gravitate towards him because he brings all this good energy,
Right.
all this good juice, man. And
He's got a lot of Coach Hendricks in him.
Yeah. He's just a good dude. He's great for the kids of Vineland. He's a Vineland guy, born and raised right here in Vineland. Just very, very happy to have him on staff for these kids, man.
Yeah, he's awesome, and it was great watching him kind of just balance the X's and O's, but also
Yes.
balance that emotion in such a close back and forth game. It was super impressive to watch. One thing I wanted to ask you about too, not to dive too deep into ref talk, but it was news to me that players could now call timeouts.
Yeah. Listen, man. Apparently it is a rule. But I'll tell you this much. That is the first time, and I'm being very honest, that's the first time I've ever heard a kid call a timeout and not a coach. And they granted the kid the timeout.
And I didn't even see said player, signal it or anything to even, garner that type of attention from an official.
Listen to me, Kyle. I've coached here 16 years. Not one kid in 16 years ever has called a timeout. And the kid in mention, that we're not going to mention his name,
would never.
No. No.
He knows, better to even, mess around with something like that.
But what gets better is this. This is the kicker.
Not Brett Brosh.
Yeah, not Brett Brosh. This is the kicker. What gets better is this. One of them gentlemen on the refereeing team tells me, Coach, we only take directives from you. So if you want a timeout, blah, blah, blah. If you want to. Now, mind you, all season, it hasn't been a problem with, my OC or my DC calling a timeout if they need it. Most of the time I'm right there anyway, so I'll go ahead and call it, But no other refereeing team, but this particular team said only you
can prevent forest
fires.
Yeah,
can call a timeout. So with that in mind, if I'm the only one that can call a timeout, why do you say, nope, the kid called a timeout? And yes, I made it a point to mention that. And this particular referee just looked at me and said, well, it's in the rule book. I said, well, that's funny because what you told me was only you, coach, the head coach, can call a timeout or any type of call.
Because to follow that up, too, Coach Fitton tried to call a timeout later on in the game.
They didn't let him.
The referee said, you can't call timeout.
You can't call timeout.
And then Shelton's yelling his brains out, telling you to call a timeout, to which then you did.
Yes.
But I'm like.
But the kid can call a timeout.
The kid can call a timeout now. But the guy that during the game you thought was the head coach can't call a timeout. Make that math make sense.
Listen.
2 + 2 = fish.
Listen. There's a lot of hidden things that people just, again, from the outside, all that white noise, they have no idea. Zero.
They can't hear any of that.
None. But they want to, again, chirp.
That's why I love taking advantage of the opportunity to be on the sideline, because then I could hear kind of the inner workings and kind of just see how the sausage gets made and, a peek behind the curtain if I'm in Disney World and seeing how all the rides work and everything.
And now you kind of got firsthand knowledge now of, wow, these coaches go through some stuff. Those referees that have reffed my games for these last 16 years, I'm not one to go crazy and start yelling and berating someone. It's not
worth it.
Cool, calm, collective, man, because I know how refs work. If you go ahead and you start to needle them, more laundry gets thrown out, more flags, right? So I try to stay nice and even keel. Regardless of horrible call, great call, stay same demeanor. It doesn't matter, man. It just doesn't. It really, at the end of the day, it's like, wow. I try to keep my head. I give every refereeing team total respect. You don't hear nothing about the violent coaches. Oh, they're this, they're that. No. All you hear is they give us our room. There's always a get back guy. They got free reign. You don't see them running into our guys. Nope. Free reign. It's always clear. They even tell me, Coach, thank you. Last crew told us you could do a great job. Yeah, this is what we do. I mean, and I'm not asking anything in return other than call the game the way it should be called.
Right.
That's it. That's all I'm asking.
Fairly.
Call the game the way it should be called. Period. That's it. So don't tell me one thing and then do the reverse opposite. If you're saying the head coach is the only one that can make the call, then I'm the only one that can make the call. Not my player on the field, allegedly. which you see no, you don't
None of
see
that.
none of this on film. None. Zero. So where did you see this? Mystery hands that went up. Just some ghostly
It
figure.
is spooky season.
Yeah, it is Halloween, man. Trick or treat.
Maybe it was Thing.
Yeah, we just keep getting the trick. Yeah. It just makes you it really makes you want to, like, think about what's on these guys' mind. What's the agenda? What are we doing here? Because last time I checked, we're in the business of kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
These are kids. Let them play. Call the game fairly, both ways. We're not asking for much. I'm not give me the slight, a little bit more here. No. It's just, it bewilders me, man.
100%. It was a competitive game, though.
Yeah,
nonetheless,
100%.
like very like competitive, back and forth. A lot
Great
of
game.
like
Game.
balance. From both sides of the football. Watching film and everything, what do you guys learn from a game like that? Because even in a loss, we talked about that against Eastern as well,
Right.
where it was very competitive, very back
Absolutely.
and forth. May have been low scoring, but it was wildly, even
Yes.
for pretty much the entire game. What do you guys learn from a game like you had against Highland and take away, positives? Because I do think, from the outside perspective of the coaching staff and players, there was a lot of positives to take away from that game.
Oh, 100%. Our kids are great kids. They come with their hard hats on. They come to work. They come to win. They don't. It's not like they wake up, we're going to lose this game. No, they want to win.
There's no quit
man.
in those kids.
Zero
throughout
quit
the
in these
entire
kids.
game, which a lot of teams you will see
They pack
players
it
quit.
in, man. They pack it
The
in.
first sign of adversity, they will quit.
Pack it
this
in.
team, throughout this entire season, there has been no sign of quitting at all.
No,
which is
keep
wildly impressive.
and next man up mentality. We have a lot of guys that are hurt, a lot of guys that are down. But guess what? It's okay, man. Next man up. Whether it's a freshman, sophomore, I can care less. Let's go. And that's what happened. Our kids go ahead, pick each other up. Next man up. Let's roll. But yeah, it gets much. It gets much with all that weird stuff that happens, and you're like, why?
Right.
Why? Just call the game the way it's meant to be called. Let these kids play, and at the end, you know what? Let the cookies fall where they may, man. It is what it is. But to have these weird calls, it leaves you. Think about it. If it leaves a grown man or grown men, right, the whole coaching staff bewildered. Imagine what's on the minds of them kids, man. Imagine. Just really, really take a second and be like, yeah. These kids were playing their hearts out, and okay, a few calls didn't go their way. Weird calls could have caused something there to change. The mojo changes. One call can change the mojo. It could change the energy of the whole game. And again, excuses are excuses. We lost the game. But I feel as though that all I ask, man, of these refs, just call the game the right way. Don't preach to me one thing and then you do the total opposite. And it's like, you told me A.
Right.
Now you're doing B. How does that work? How? I don't get it. If the head coach is the one that makes the final call, how are you saying, oh, but it's in the rule book that a kid can make the call? Wait, what?
Since when?
What? Okay.
News to us.
Yeah.
Very fun first half breakdown here. On the other side, after a word from some of our sponsors, we will put a bow on this Highland game, get you your homegrown players of the week. We'll go through the injury report, and we'll gear up for homecoming against Cherry Hill West, plus a whole lot more. So don't go anywhere. You are listening to and watching Guzman's Gridiron right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia. Hey, everybody, quick ad break, and I want to talk to you about our amazing sponsor, Allen Associates. And if you are looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belt, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can easily learn more and access their services by visiting their newly renovated website, Allen Assoc, that's ALLENASSOC.com. So join the family and let them help you secure your future. Contact them today online or by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron.
Out here, strength isn't a choice. It's a way of life. And when your back carries the weight of generations, you need support that never gives out. In the city, the load's different, but the drive is the same. When every step matters, your knees shouldn't slow you down. And when the work is done, healing isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. At Family Medical Equipment, we build relief into every stitch, strap, and product. From the fields to the office to your journey back to full strength. Family Medical Equipment. Built to support. Made to last.
Hello, I'm Mayor Anthony Fanucci. Vineland, New Jersey offers both a great business location and an outstanding quality of life. But don't just take my word for it, the experts agree. We're proud to be recognized as a premier food processing and logistics hub, one of New Jersey's most affordable and desirable cities, and one of the best places to retire in the country. Visit vinelandcity.org and see how our resources can work for you. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
And welcome back, everybody. Big thank you to our sponsors. And, Coach, to kind of just put a bow on this Highland game before we get to our Homegrown Players of the Week, right. I think, from a growth perspective, where you talk about, that adversity where, one play can change so much. And, I think what I took away as soon as you guys went down and what the final score ended up being at 20-17, everyone on the sideline was still so, dialed in. And I thought that was super impressive where, at any moment, a team can kind of fold. It's like, damn, it's towards the end of the game. Yeah. How much time are we going to have to, make this up? As soon as they go up, Brett Brosh walks over to the field goal kicking area and starts, warming up. And I was like, yo, if you get that opportunity, have a moment because, you can do this. And he had a redemption in that, had that blocked field goal, comes in, nails one to give you guys 17. He was ready. Zyleek Travis was ready. It was very impressive to kind of just watch the demeanor of the sideline as the game progressed, too. No matter if you guys were up, went down, right. Whatever it was, everyone was still so laser-focused until the clock hit 0.
Yeah, about that young man, I told you before about Brett Brosh. I have confidence in that kid, man. I'll pull the trigger. If he's within range, I ask Henry. Henry gives me the nod. He's going out there. He went out there the first time. See, a lot of people, again, this is for the white noise behind me, so that way you guys know why I pulled the trigger. Okay?
Which I thought was a smart decision. Watching how he was kicking in warm-up and watching how things progress, I was like, yeah, he can nail it from there. No problem.
100%. So, before that first field goal, we went for it on 4th down.
Right.
Offensively, we didn't do the job. We got stopped in the backfield, right? So offensively, I gave them a shot to go for it, right? Okay. By the way, he was in range that time. Mm-hmm. He was in range. The second opportunity came to us. I'm not making that same mistake twice. I'm just not. Guess what? I have a kicker that's kicking 40-yard field goals in practice all day long. I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm going there. I have confidence in this kid. He goes out there, bad snap.
Which led to a rough hold.
Which led to the bad hold. And you see it all on film. It's not like I'm sugarcoating it.
And snapper holder would tell you that's what happened. I heard them.
They both said it, Bad snap, bad hold, ball gets kicked into the back of the snapper, right? Okay. All of a sudden, we get another opportunity. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I have the go-ahead to either go for it or field goal. All you hear in the white noise back here, come on, coach, you got to go for it. I don't got to go for it. I don't have to go for it. For what? If you've been watching the game, they've been stopping us pretty consecutively. I understand they blocked the first field goal attempt, but I'm going for a field goal. Again, I'm gonna give the field goal unit redemption, man. And people don't understand that's called building your kids up. Mm-hmm. They failed their first attempt, but what happened on the second one, Kyle? They made it.
With ease.
With ease. 32-yarder. With ease.
He probably makes it at 42, if I'm being honest. Like, I filmed that field goal because I was trying to post as many scoring opportunities to put on social media, and I was like, oh, he's nailing that with ease, and it just kept going. You give him 10 more yards, he's probably going through with ease. He's still hitting it. He got all of it on that field goal.
And, now all of a sudden the white noise dies down. Great call, coaches. Again, this is the job you take, right? That you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's just how it is, man. If you're winning, everyone's riding the coattails. Yeah, coach, you did a great job. Your coaches are great. You're winning the game. All that praise. Mm-hmm. You start to lose the game and then ultimately lose the game. Oh, you guys are horrible. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know the play calling. You don't know the defense. You don't know what and that's why at the end of games, I have to smile. Whether I win or lose or draw, I just smile, man, because I hear so much back here that it's amusing to me, man.
Right.
It really is. You're hearing things, you're like, what? And that's why you're not a coach. Mm-hmm. That's why you're just not a coach. You know nothing about football, nothing about in-game play. There's no room for you, and that's why you're in the stands. 100%. And that's where you'll stay.
Exactly. Let's get to our Homegrown Players of the Week, brought to you by the City of Vineland. And like we've been telling you guys, it's quickly approaching. The Garden State Comic Fest is coming to the new Vineland Convention Center Saturday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, November 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Meet Melissa Joan Hart, yes, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, plus fan favorite stars like Dan Parent, the legendary Archie's comic artist and writer, Kevin Clash, the voice of Elmo, Splinter, and Baby Sinclair, Keith Williams, the iconic comic book inker from Marvel, and recently announced, Coach, a little football action going to be at the Garden State Comic Fest. Philadelphia Eagles legend Vince Papale is going to be
nice.
in the City of Vineland for the Garden State Comic Fest, which I'm very excited about. Comics, cosplay, collectibles, and over 6,000 fans. Visit gscfvineland.com for all the details. It's linked in the description of the show as well. And again, the Garden State Comic Fest is coming to the new Vineland Convention Center Saturday, November 15th and Sunday, November 16th. For all the details, visit gscfvineland.com. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. We thank them for being a proud partner here at Guzman's Gridiron.
Thank you.
Our Homegrown Players of the Week this week, we have another returning member to the group, but we have a first-timer this season that we'll start with, and that is Zach Zavis.
Great kid.
Grinder. Had one hell of a game on Friday night, playing both sides of the ball, motivating the team on the sidelines, making sure everybody was on their P's and Q's as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And that's just a testament to show why he's a captain on this team and just gives his all. At the end of the game, that dude looks like he just took a shower because he's sweating so much because he's leaving it all out on the field. And again, this has been an all-season thing. But to be dialed in the way that he was in a game like that against Highland was wildly impressive. So Zach Zavis, our first of two Homegrown Players of the Week this week.
Let me tell you something, man. That kid, I've talked about him before on the show. you can't say enough about that kid. That kid is just he's what you want as a captain of as a leader of this team, as one of the leaders, right, of this team. He held his own offensively, defensively. He was motivating the guys on the sideline. He was keeping the energy up. He's doing anything and everything to make sure that he does his job as a captain of, as one of the captains of the team, to motivate and inspire those, his teammates. Not to mention his gameplay. Just a class act through and through. His parents did an excellent job with him. I can't say enough about that kid, man. Very, very proud of him, and I'm gonna miss him. You know what I mean? I saw him come through as a young pup, and now he's
a big dog.
Yeah, he's one of the guys, man, and it's gonna be tough, man. But he's got some gameplay left in him. He ain't leaving it anytime yet. So. But, Zach Zavis is just he's one of the great ones.
100%. And an honorable mention, I know he was seeing Trainer Dave afterwards, so I didn't get a chance to bring him over. But if I was able to, Omar Davis would have gotten one of our homegrown nods this week, just running the football. He was fantastic. Battled through, a couple of nicks and tears, throughout the game, but still kept his head down, went back in and was grinding and ran the football with a lot of tenacity and a lot of vicious runs, and it was his best game performance, I think, offensively this season, no doubt about it.
No, there's no doubt. When that kid is firing on all cylinders, he's a tough out. Omar Davis is a tough out. It's just, again, the injury bug got to him. Things that he's working through with his body and such, and that's why you saw him kind of towards the end. We had to pull him. We had to pull him and let somebody else get in there. But I mean, it's that type of season, where we've had these lingering injuries and things that the kids have received beginning of the season, and they kind of lingered into the later part. But Omar's a great kid, man. He runs the ball hard. He has great vision, low pad level, keeps his feet moving north and south. Works to his strengths. So, we love having him on the team.
Stepped up big time with CJ being out, too.
Absolutely, man. And that's what it's all about, right?
100%. And then our second homegrown player of the week this week, Zylik Travis once again. He makes it difficult to not select him for these things.
Yeah, he does.
And
he does.
He just continues to be so impressive, and his just football IQ is through the roof. He had one of the most beautiful interceptions I've ever seen a high school player make taken away from him on the most ridiculous defensive pass interference call I think I've ever seen. He literally looked like Michael Jackson toe tapping on the sidelines, high pointed the football with the alleged offensive player 3 feet behind him out of bounds.
Yes.
And I told him on the sideline, because I was right before halftime, I said, Karma's going to come back around. You best believe Karma's going to come back around. And what does he do? Opening kickoff of the second half.
To the house.
Takes it to the house, or as Aiden Barriento said, to the apartments. And I was cracking up the whole time. He's yelling that on the sideline.
So happy that boy's back.
Zylik Travis. It was difficult to not give it to him, to play the way he did, to bring one to the house. I'm crediting him with an interception, even though the official stats may not. He was impressive all game long.
And that was, by the way, that interception was 2 feet in bounds.
Yep. Both.
The kid is special. Zylik is a special kid. He's a player offensively, defensively. Special. He don't care. He's one of those leaders, where, you call his number, he's there. You know what I mean? He's definitely a captain on this team as well, and the kids know it. But that performance that he put on during that game it highlighted everything he can do. It highlighted everything offensively that he can do, special teams wise that he can do, as well as defensively. The kid is he's a football player, man, and I wish him nothing but the best, in his future endeavors. He's going to be sorely missed as well. Love that kid. With all the adversity he's gone through in his life, he's one of the special ones, Kyle. He's gone through some things. He knows. You know what I mean? I won't mention it. That's his business. But even though all them things that have happened to him within these last couple years, he's kept focused in his studies in school. He's kept focused on the field. He's a great leader, a great teammate.
One of the most respectful kids I've been around.
Yeah. He's one of the ones that are going to be missed also, of course.
And I think in a game like this too, I talked to him after the game. He said, "I genuinely think this is one of my best games, if not my best game of the season." I had to remind him about his performance at Clearview.
Yeah.
But outside of that game, I do think this was his best game of the year. And even though the stats offensively won't reflect that, if you were at that game, you saw the respect that defense was giving to him.
Oh, yeah.
And moving whatever coverage they could to go and cover him.
Yes. Because
they knew what he was capable of.
Yeah. He was definitely, double covered all game. There were, they had somebody over the top of him, underneath him, but it just made room for other people to shine. Quay offensively had a nice little game offensively. So again, it opened up some doors there for the other wideouts to get a little burn. But again, it's a thing where this is bringing me to this point where Elijah, again, he may not have had his greatest game, but I'll tell you what, that boy slings the rock around. He slings that rock around, and I'm, again, very, very proud of that kid. It's just when you hear things like, I don't know, like you'll hear things. Again, I hear things and I smile afterwards.
All you can do is laugh.
I just smile afterwards, but I hear things like, your quarterback's throwing it to the same guy. Well, it's very simple. Every quarterback, whether you go high school, midget ball, college, and or NFL, has their favorite target.
You could talk about flag football the same way.
Every quarterback has their favorite target, Kyle. Kansas City, Mr. Mahomes has Travis. Yes. Okay. I mean,
Jalen Hurts is lucky to have two.
But the guy is Devontae, right? All right. Then you have all these guys in the collegiate realm that have their favorite wide receivers, their blankets that they go to, right?
I mean, look back in the day. Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
Drew Brees had Michael Thomas, and he had, a whole bunch of guys.
Jerry Rice.
Jimmy Graham.
And Joe Montana. I mean, it goes on and on. These guys have their favorite receivers.
Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson.
Yes. They have their blankets. They're called blanket receivers for a reason. When in doubt, they look for their favorite target.
And that has a double meaning because then the defense has to be the blanket to cover them.
But you picked up. A lot of people won't. Again. Anyway, so that being said, what's the problem with Elijah having a blanket receiver? There shouldn't be a problem. Travis gets open. Guess what? He's looking for him.
And he's confident getting him the football.
But that's not to say that he's not looking off receivers to go ahead and get the defense to think he's going to throw to Travis.
But all of a sudden,
throws it to Quay, throws it to Benny, But again, you just smile after games because it's like every quarterback that I've ever encountered in my life, whether it's on TV or in live person, has their favorite target. And there's nothing bad about that. That just means that rapport that kid and that quarterback have is pretty solid, man. It's pretty solid.
And that's why you see whenever a backup quarterback comes in, typically the number 2 or 3 wide receiver is their go-to because that's who they're practicing with.
Again, someone that sees football, looks at football, watches football, knows and understands that. All of a sudden, the number 1 guy isn't the number 1 guy anymore. Because guess what? Who was getting the reps with the number 2 quarterback? The number 2 receiver, the number 3 receiver, the number 4. The number 1 isn't getting reps with the number 2s. He's up with the number 1s. just, again, man.
It's
football.
simply stupid.
Yeah, you just gotta, if you know the game, you know it. And there's a lot of people in our fan base, they know football. So they watch. They understand the development that these kids are going through. They understand that, wait, this kid never played football in his life.
Right. Elijah does not have a football background. That's the other part of this equation.
He's really
He's
a baseball
doing
kid.
all of this without a football background.
Yeah.
And it's wildly impressive.
But he's first of all, great kid. Second of all, great athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Great athlete. So guess what?
Great, IQ.
Yes. He studies the game. The boy is a studier of the game. He studies the game. Okay? He does his due diligence. But again, please, before you open your mouths as white noise back here, understand football. Understand that every quarterback has their go-to guy. And that's just how it is. That's just football. It's not diminishing anyone else's light.
No.
No way. Love all our kids. And Elijah will be the first. He supports all the guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got a go-to guy that not only is a go-to guy but gets open, guess what? If I'm back there and I switch positions, Elijah's the head coach and I'm the quarterback, I'm looking for Zalik.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for Zalik. Of course, I'm going to go through my progression as my coach teaches me, but I'm going to look at my number one guy.
Right.
Milvo, you think that they were passing up Brooks?
Not at all.
Oh, let's look him off, and let's go to this guy.
They
No.
fed him.
Yeah, they're going to look at one of the fastest kids in the state, one of the highest high jumpers in the state. I mean, you're looking
Some
at
of the
that
best hands we've ever seen in the last decade.
phenomenal athlete. Yeah, I'm going there first. And I don't care if there's 3 guys on him. I'm going to toss it up in the air.
Saw the same thing with Atlantic City.
Same deal.
Not even this year, but in years past. I forget the
Flash.
player's name, but when
Flash. Yeah. A 4'2" kid. A 4'2" something kid. A 4'3". Let's just even it out at 4'3". Long, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4".
had to have been 6'4".
Yeah.
He looked 6'7".
Yeah, he was very, very tall. Definitely the tallest receiver that I've ever encountered.
Yeah. It was him and probably Marquise Bell.
Yeah. And Marquise was shorter than him. I know
Right.
that for a fact.
Marquise just had the wingspan and the arm span to make
He
him
was
look
thicker.
tall. Right.
Marquise was thicker, but
Because they also had him
height-wise?
playing 6 positions,
Yeah.
too.
height-wise, Flash had him all day. And speed-wise, he had him all day.
Oh, yeah.
He was you don't get the name Flash.
For no reason.
Oh, you know what? Your name's no, you're fast.
Yeah.
So guess what? It'd be 1, 2, 3, throw the ball as far as you can.
Yep.
Because guess who's going to catch it? This kid would literally run underneath the pass, catch it, take it to the house. I saw him do it so many times, so many people. It's just what it is. So please understand that. Another thing, too, he's a sophomore. We've got a
A
sophomore
15-year-old sophomore.
We got a young kid back there who's doing his best to see everyone. He's doing his best, man. He's not, I'm just throwing a trap today. It's not that. He wants to go ahead and give the ball to everyone if he can, but
That's not realistic.
it's just not. And
There's
again,
one football.
yeah. And again, you get separation on your guy. 9 times out of 10, Elijah's going to see it, and he's going to deliver the football to you. If you don't have separation on your guy, he's not going to throw you the ball. He's not going to try to throw an interception or force feed you to ultimately put the team in a weird predicament. He's going to do what he has to do and go to the next guy, But yeah, it's sorry about that little sidebar, but yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is,
It's
Kyle.
fun watching your brain work and dissect the game, though, so I love when you go on these rants. It's so fun. Before we go to our next break, I do want to bring up our family medical equipment injury report as we gear up for another game.
Right.
Family medical equipment guys, they are our injury partner this season, and you know them as a full home medical equipment company. Family Medical Equipment offers specialty equipment for pediatrics through geriatrics, and since 2001, they've been a trusted service throughout New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware for essential healthcare needs. You can visit their Vineland retail shop at 106 West Landis Avenue, Unit 10, and experience the difference that a family business provides. You can also contact them over the phone at 856-794-8050. Family Medical Equipment, their family, caring for yours since 2001, the official injury partner here at Guzman's Gridiron. Coach, obviously some injuries occurred against Highland. Some players taken out of the game because of it. What's the injury report status looking like as we record this here on Thursday, as we gear up for a Saturday morning game against Cherry Hill West?
All right, so, Omar kind of tweaked his back. We had to, go ahead and take care of that situation. That's why he got off the field a little early. You had Robbie Bono. He's dealing with, return to play protocol for concussion. So we won't see him this weekend. Hopefully, knock on wood, the following game that we have, he'll be back with us. Quay kind of jammed his thumb a little something there. Who else? I want to say that's about it. If I remember correctly, I want to say that's about all the guys that kind of got tweaked a little bit. But again, there's still guys that are still nursing injuries from 3 weeks ago. It is what it is, man. Mm-hmm. I know I've said it and I'll say it over and over again, but it's next man up mentality. So it's just giving younger guys some opportunities to go ahead and get in the game. So.
And then obviously some of those guys being C.J. Thomas, Aiden Barriento.
Yep.
How are those guys looking as they continue to heal up from their respective injuries?
So C.J. is dealing with some things. We're gonna let the medical professionals handle what he's going through. But as far as Mr. Barriento, he's back into the lineup as far as going out there practicing right now. He is cleared by the medical professional staff. He did pass batteries of tests also in conjunction with TD and Ms. Dara. So he went through the full schematic there, and he's a go for this week. We're just, I'm very happy about that because I want that. Yeah, I want that kid to finish out his senior year. He's a great kid, man, and what more do you want for a senior? You know what I mean? You want him to finish out on a good note and finish out playing the game he loves, man. He loves this game, So let's see what happens. Like I told him, I said, Barriento, it just depends on how you feel with, because it's that knee, and it's his right knee, his dominant knee, his dominant leg. You really can't tell until you go through a week's worth of practice because you're putting all that pressure, pushing. He's a linebacker, so he has to go ahead and attack offensive linemen. All that weight, on his knee now, that extra weight, that's going to be the telltale sign.
If he has to drop back in coverage, you got to make cuts backwards, not just going forwards, but being able to move backwards too. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So hopefully, and I told him, I said, hopefully you get through this week of practice, and then come Saturday, that you'll be in there. That's not even a problem, But I said, but don't get discouraged if by any chance things don't go your way and you have to kind of, wait for the following game that comes up because I'm not going to jeopardize that kid's health for a football game.
Right.
It's just not. But then again, that kid, you got to love it because he's like,
the ultimate
Coach, I want to play.
competitor.
Yeah, he wants to play. And it's awesome because you really don't see that type of love for the game anymore. Like back in the day for me, if I was hurt, I wouldn't even tell my coaches. I'd keep it quiet. I'm going to be honest. I'd keep it quiet. I wouldn't tell. I sure as heck wouldn't tell the trainer because that meant you're not playing this week. Reminds me of that flavor, So I love it. I personally love it. But at the end of the day, as long as he was looked at thoroughly, which he was by the medical staff here, that takes care of our kids in Vineland. TD and Dara made him pass their battery of tests.
Mm-hmm.
So he not only passed the med staff, he passed our athletic training staff here's set of trials. Fine. You got the okay, you got the blessing, and ultimately his family had to acquiesce to that as well. So it's all good, man. I can't wait to see him play again.
Very excited for that. We will have our Cherry Hill West homecoming game preview on the other side, another quick commercial break. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to and watching Guzman's Gridiron right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia.
The Vineland Municipal Utilities is committed to helping your business succeed. As a community-owned utility, our focus is on service, not profit. From site planning to powering your operations, we can help you achieve your strategic goals. Whether it's a customized cost analysis of your usage needs, engineering support to ensure a smooth interconnection, or offering lower rates than neighboring utilities, we want to be your partner in creating an environment for long-term success. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
And welcome back, everybody. Big thank you to our sponsors and Coach Cherry Hill West coming to town for the first time ever, question mark? Or the first time in a long time,
That I
at
know
least.
of? Yes. That I know of, yes.
Because obviously last year, first time they were on the schedule for
Right,
the first
and
time
then
in a
we went
long
over there.
time.
Yep,
We
yep.
were there. They're coming here. 11 a.m. game, which is bright and early.
11:30.
11:30. Okay.
I apologize. I was
Okay.
the one that told you 11. Next that, it's 11:30 kickoff.
11:30.
Yep, 11:30
Nonetheless,
kickoff. Yes.
still pretty early.
Yes, it's still early. Either way you cut the cake, it's early.
Preparing for a game like this, and, we've talked about this in the past, too. Obviously, the pomp and circumstance of homecoming. You have the parade. You have Miss Monogram. You have a whole lot that goes on.
Whole slew of things.
It's almost like the high school version of the Super Bowl, where,
Yes.
you're preparing for a long halftime. You
Yes.
have the media week and all of that. What is kind of the preparation that is a little bit different than years past because you have such a young team, inexperienced team? A lot of them, it's their first homecoming. What goes into the mental preparation from that aspect of knowing, hey, it's going to be a longer halftime. It's going to be, a lot of stuff going on that can be distracting that you still have to be laser focused and prepared for the game.
So it's nice in that we've already gone through pre-trials.
A bunch of teams.
Yeah, pre-trials of this. So the kids already know the time. They know the schedule. They know that we're going to have an extended halftime. They know that we're going to be, off the pregame field a little earlier. All those factors we've already gone through. So that's the good thing. One of the main things that I've been telling them all week is make sure that you have a good breakfast in the morning. They have to be fueled up and ready to rock and roll. We'll be reporting to Gatone by 9:30. As always, 2 hours before the game, and then kick off 11:30. Kyle.
And I think it's nice too for later on down the line of having this early morning kickoff to prepare for the inevitable Thanksgiving kickoff as well.
Absolutely, and that'll be a little earlier. I think that's 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah. That's 10:30 in the morning, and
Which by the time that rolls around, daylight savings time will kick in. It'll feel all the
it'll
same
feel
way.
all the same. Yeah, it's all gonna feel the same. It's still an early start to a game where we're used to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock starts. But again, the kids understand what's at stake. They understand that that we can't leave anything on the table. It's just we gotta execute, and we gotta make sure that we do our due diligence.
And not to diminish the game ahead either, but obviously this is the last regular season scheduled game
Yes.
for you guys before Thanksgiving. Are there plans for games following to kind of prepare for, Thanksgiving and not kind of be idle and just practicing nonstop? That not that it gets old, but it kind of takes away from the preparation of preparing for a game. And you guys, even under Coach Russo and in your tenure as well, have had at least one game in between. Is that buffer zone kind of there for you guys as well, where you're preparing for multiple games to lead up to Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. We have to be prepared. we have to stay sharp. So, yeah, there'll be definitely games in between going on before the Millville game on Thanksgiving.
Cherry Hill West coming in last year at their stadium. Very competitive game.
Yes.
You guys ended up on top in that one. But what are some things that you guys, as you prepared for this game, watching on film, is there a lot that has changed about Cherry Hill West from last year to this year in kind of their approach, offense, defense, special teams wise, that you've picked up on, that there have been some changes, or is it a lot of the same flavor that they had last year that you're preparing for?
If I had to be honest, there's a lot of the same flavor from last year. Very well coached team. The coaches over there, they do a good job with them kids, preparing them for whatever match they got coming up in the week. So we know they're going to be well prepared, but we're also going to be well prepared. So ultimately, I always say it every week in and week out. The team with the least mental errors, they're going to win. That's just how it rolls, man. And the team that executes, dots their I's, crosses their T's, they're going to be the shoo-in for a win. So we'll have our kids laser focused, ready to rock and roll come Saturday, and we're hoping for a big violent win.
When it comes to preparing for them offensively, what are some things you guys are looking to not necessarily, do well, but, continue to build upon that you have done well this season and kind of, grow from last week to this week and, see those growth points, but also know like, hey, we do this really well on defense. We need to continue to do this well on defense in order to stop what they're going to throw at us.
Well, ultimately this week, we've really been fine-tuning their technique, offensively, defensively, special teams, so that way, come game day, we're firing on all cylinders. There's no, coach, no. You know your assignment, you know your alignment, and you better know your adjustment. It's just how it rolls. And if you don't, I'm going to pull you, and then I'm going to put somebody else in. It's just that easy. It's no harm, no foul. It's just business, man.
And, this game obviously coming off the heels of 3 straight road games for you. How nice is it knowing that, hey, we get to be in the backyard again for the first time in a long time?
Yeah, back to Gatone. It's always a great field there. That field is special, man. It's a beautiful field. It has a lot of history, and it's just nice to be able to play at our hometown, in front of our hometown crowd.
One of my favorite things about Gatone Stadium, because I was there for the boys' soccer senior night. Congratulations to the boys' 2-1 win.
Congratulations.
Very electric game. One of my favorite little tidbit fun facts about Gatone Stadium is that back in the 1930s, I think it was 1936 or 38, Gatone Stadium was dedicated in the name of sportsmanship on my birthday.
What?
October 29th, back in the 30s.
Oh, yeah?
Gatone Stadium, there's a plaque in the main tunnel entrance to the stands. If you look at it, it says dedicated in the name of sportsmanship, October 29th, like 1936 or so. It's one of my favorite fun facts. I'm like, yeah, I share something with Gatone Stadium.
Share something there.
It's perfect. But I'm excited to be back, up in that booth. It's just such a fun feel, and homecoming is obviously just such an exciting game for the current students, for anybody that's still local to come out to. It's like the precursor to Thanksgiving, where Thanksgiving for both Vineland and Millville, it is, homecoming.
It's the Super Bowl, brother.
It's everybody that knows anybody is ending up at that game, and it's always a fun part of each season. But homecoming, on a kind of like preparation scale is very similar. Anybody that is still local comes out. It's always good to see, alumni rolling through for homecoming and everything. And I think, congratulations to the finalists for Miss Monogram that will be, awarded at halftime too. That's always a fun part of homecoming. I was talking to Doug Diola after the soccer game too, because if you've noticed, I've been rocking the vintage Rowdy Rooster logo on my head this season. And I said, with the uniform combos we have, which I love our football uniforms, it would be kind of cool if at some point we rolled out a throwback uniform for the football team that the helmet featured the vintage Rowdy Rooster decal and everything. And I was like, that would be fun to cook up. That would be fun to see. would you like to implore a throwback look at some point?
Yeah, we can try to implore something like that. I mean, get some decals with the old, Rowdy Rooster on there. But again, that's something that I could bring up to my AD and we can, make things happen. But
I think it would be a fun little addition and it brought up in conversation, obviously, because NFL wise, like the Eagles this week are wearing their Kelly Greens. There's a bunch of teams wearing their throwbacks. The Steelers are wearing those abomination of throwbacks this week,
very ugly.
Which
But anyway.
would not be anything that this would look like. But I was like, I wonder if we would ever do a throwback, type of game. And
Right.
I think it would be cool no matter when in the season, but it would also be very cool if we could potentially line that up and have that as, one Thanksgiving we had the Color Rush game that ended up happening. It'd be kind of cool to have throwback uniforms for both teams at one point. But it would be cool to see the vintage Rowdy Rooster on the helmets.
We'll see, man. You never know.
You never know.
You never know, Kyle. You never know.
As Cherry Hill West pops up, and obviously the early, kickoff compared to, some of the other games we typically have. And it's a day later. It's a Saturday game.
Yes.
What's kind of the preparation there for you guys as coaches, having that extra day to prepare and getting ready for an opponent, but also not necessarily because it is an earlier kickoff, so it is pretty much a similar schedule, I would assume, for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, again, schedule's going to be the same. Kids will get there by 9:30, staff, and then we go on through within 15 minutes. Specialists will be out there. Within another 30 minutes of that, the rest of the team will be out there. It's the same schedule, man. It's the same. We try to keep it same as, so the kids already, it's like clockwork. They know exactly where to go, when to go, the whole nine.
Perfect stuff. And as we prepare for the return to Catone Stadium, our game preview there brought to you by our good friends right in our backyard here in Vineland, Allen Associates. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. They're in their 65th year of serving the communities here. With over 6 decades of experience under their belt, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. And whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can easily learn more and access their services by visiting their newly renovated website, which is linked in the description of both audio and video versions of the show, and it's up on the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube. So join the family and let them help you secure your future. Contact them today online or by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for being a long-standing partner. Let Corey know that Guzman's Gridiron sent you if you do go see them as well. Coach, we've been doing this pretty much all season, calling out some players. They've answered the bell more often than not.
Right.
Homecoming, big stage. Who do you got in the back of your mind, some players that you want to see step up, be some X factors to a contributing and successful Saturday morning, afternoon game?
I'm really looking at our whole O-line in its entirety. Lorenzo, I want to see him have a big game, man. I want to see Lorenzo have a big game offensively, defensively. Adonai, of course, Zach, Zincraft, Matt. I just want these guys to right their wrongs, man. You know what I mean? And really zone in and have the game that they know that they can have. I'm also looking for a game of redemption for Quayshawn, and he's practicing his tail off and he's looking to better and right the wrongs from last week. I'm also looking for the likes of Justin Cheeseborough. He's gotten some touches and I'm telling you, I'm big on this kid, man. He's a young kid, but he's a dynamic kid, man. He can really open up some avenues for us, and I'm hoping if he gets his touches this week that he makes the best of them.
I'm looking at you, Benny Rojas Torres. It's right there. I've seen it week in and week out. You've had very good games. I'm ready for that great game.
That breakout game.
That big one that pops off in film. It's right there for the taking for him, and I've seen it. Saw it last week. You know, running the football defensively.
Great
I
kid.
think he's
Great kid.
He's ready to just punch through the dirt
and
be that star. I can see it, especially with the bright lights of homecoming. He'll want to put on a show being back at home.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Uno. What do you got for me?
He's one of those guys, man. I listen. I'm also waiting for that breakout game from him. You know, he's had good games, but a breakout game I'm waiting for. So, Benny, let's go, man. Let's go. Don't leave nothing on the table. Let it go, man.
I'm excited for him. I think this could be a big one on Saturday. Coach, any final thoughts heading into Saturday? Preparation, words to the people, words to the white noise, words to anybody out there that
white noise is going to be white noise, Kyle. It's going to be there. That's why it's white noise. It's
exactly.
Like right here. You know, but I just laugh. I take it with me, and I think about it sometimes. I laugh and I talk. You know, me and the coaches talk amongst each other, and it's like, But I'll tell you one thing. Best of luck to all the contestants. You know, Miss Monogram and such. Best of luck to you guys. Be safe out there. I know that they have that car progression that comes through. Just be safe. I know all our kids in Vineland are going to be, coming out there with beautiful clothing on and looking their best. I wish you guys all the luck in the world. Have a great time out there. Enjoy yourself. It's homecoming.
Right. Enjoy it. That's the biggest part.
Enjoy it.
It only comes around once a year.
Yeah.
Seniors, it only comes around once in a lifetime.
Yes.
Enjoy every moment. Like, soak it all in. Like, look around the stadium as it's going on. I was lucky enough to be an escort for Miss Monogram, and, it's truly one of those things that when I look back on my high school career, it's one of my fond memories of just being part of that pomp and circumstance. And you look back on it fondly once it's over, but live in the moment of it. Just soak it all in. Look around the stadium. Enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be good weather on Saturday, too. Just enjoy it.
Yep. And parents, really, really take it in, because this will be the last homecoming game for your kids, as seniors. So, kudos to our parents. Kudos to our seniors, man. They're great kids, dude. Great kids, Kyle. And like I've said before on the show, I wouldn't trade any one of them. Not a one. So
100%. Luckily, this week, we do have a formal broadcast of our football game against Cherry Hill West on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. 11:30 kickoff. Myself, Marcelino Ojeda on the call. Very excited to be back. It's been too long since I have not been in the booth with him.
Right.
He was on vacation during the Atlantic City game. We had the bye. We didn't have a
Right.
I'm in need of my Marcelino fix. Okay, we're gonna have some fun on Saturday in the booth.
Yeah.
So tune in on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. But if you're in town, come out to the game.
Absolutely.
Make it a fun environment.
Yes.
Enjoy it. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Yep.
And it's poised to be a very entertaining and exciting game as well against Cherry Hill West. So definitely tune in. 11:30 kickoff on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. But come to Gatone Stadium. There's nothing like it. And it's your final regular season chance to do so. So come on out, support our student athletes, and take in what is poised to be a very fun football game on Saturday morning. Be sure to follow Vineland Football on social media. It's all linked in the description for you guys to follow along on Twitter, Instagram, wherever it may be. Follow Underground Sports Philadelphia as well on social media. Subscribe to Guzman's Gridiron, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify. That is all linked in the description as well if you're watching the show. But subscribe there. It really does help the show continue to grow. And if you want to watch the show, tune in every single game day eve, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well because it helps more people get eyes and ears on the show. And it premieres live every game day eve, and then it's available to watch afterwards once the premiere concludes. So subscribe, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Coach, hopefully we're sitting here next week preparing for one of those preparation games before
Yes.
the big day. It's crazy the regular season is already coming to a close.
Yeah.
But hopefully we're talking about a big-time win and gearing up for
Absolutely.
the build-up to Turkey Day once again.
Once again, Kyle.
So thank you for tuning in, everybody. This has been another edition of Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. We will see you next week, but until then, go Vineland.